Have you ever been told you're a natural at something? Maybe you were praised for being effortlessly smart or talented when you were a kid? Well, what if that early praise wasn't exactly the head start we all thought it was? Today, we're going to dive into this really fascinating idea, the curse of brilliance, and why being a gifted kid can actually make your adult life a whole lot harder.
This quote right here, it just nails the whole concept. It suggests that the most important skill for getting through life isn't your raw talent, but the strength you build when things don't come easily. It's all about resilience, not just ability.
And that's the big question, isn't it? It feels completely backward. I mean, how could being brilliant early on be anything but a huge advantage? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, so let's get on the same page and define what we're talking about here. The gifted kid curse. Now, the curse isn't the talent itself, not at all. It's about what you get praised for. See, when you're constantly told you are smart, you'll learn to value just being that thing. But if you're praised for your effort, for trying hard, you learn to value the process of growing. And that tiny difference is what creates all these psychological hurdles later on.
So, let's break this down. Our first section is all about the untrained muscle, and this metaphor really gets to the heart of the problem.
This right here totally flips the script on what we think of as good luck. It basically says that a childhood without any real academic or creative struggle is like having a body that never exercises. Yet you might be born with potential, but you never actually develop any real strength.
And you can see the difference so clearly right here. On the left, with that untrained muscle, success just happens. So why try? Challenges become these scary things you have to avoid at all costs. And that resilience muscle, it never gets a workout. Now, look at the right. Effort is what causes the success. Challenges are just obstacles to overcome, and with every single one, that muscle just gets stronger and stronger.
So, okay, what are the actual real-world consequences of having this untrained muscle? Well, that brings us right into Section 2, the 3 adult burdens.
And the first burden is a big one, analysis paralysis. This is that feeling when the fear of not producing a perfect result is so totally overwhelming that you can't even start. I mean, think about it. If your whole identity is built on being brilliant, the risk of creating something that's just okay, well, it can feel too great to even try.
And this plays out in this vicious little cycle. You get a cool idea, but instead of doing it, you research it to death. And that research feels productive, right? But what it really is, it's just a way to hide from the terrifying possibility of failure. It's a refuge from action. So you put it off, the fear gets bigger, and the whole cycle just starts over again.
That cycle of inaction leads directly into our second burden, which is having a really fragile identity. When your entire sense of who you are is built on this one single thing, being the smart one, that identity is incredibly easy to break.
And this directly shapes your self-worth. I mean, if your value comes from other people, perfect scores, constant praise, what happens when that stops? Normal adult struggles like a tough project at work or just trying to learn a new skill, they're not just challenges anymore. They feel like a personal attack on who you are at your very core.
And all of this, it all leads up to our final section, this huge psychological earthquake that the source material calls the shock of average. Wow, what a powerful phrase, right? Destabilizingly average. It just perfectly captures that jarring feeling when you leave the small pond of your school and you enter the huge ocean of adult life, which is filled with other talented, brilliant people. And that really is the heart of this difficult transition. Look, when you're a kid, it's pretty easy to be the smartest person in the room. But as an adult, you're suddenly in a world of people who are just as smart as you, if not smarter. That label of special kind of expires. And if your entire identity is tied to it, that transition can feel like you're losing yourself completely.
So let's just end on this thought. What if the answer isn't about chasing that old feeling of being exceptional? What if the real opportunity here is to finally let go of all that pressure and instead focus on building something way more valuable and durable for adult life, which is genuine resilience built one effortful step at a time?